Okay, I was having some technical difficulties. I should be fully operational now, I hope. It looks like it. So, what I plan on doing once a day, as you know, just for a little bit of study, is to go over one previous hand that I've had in the past. Um, Unfortunately, because I use a program called DriveHUD, most people use Poker Track or Hold Manager. For the sites that I use DriveHUD. So for whatever reason, my screen capture software doesn't pick up DriveHUD on screen capture. So what I'm actually going to do, so you can see the hand visually, is I'm going to recreate it through Poker Snowy, which would be interesting because Poker Snowy will tell me what I should or should have done, so I can kind of check myself against Poker Snowy. And in the process, I'm going to be doing hand reading um, using Flopzilla, and also I'll be using this template in order to actually take a look at ranges of what kind of range I'm putting my opponent on and see the percentage of their particular range I'm putting them on and the number of combos. So this is a great exercise. Many different things come out of this exercise. Me looking to see if I took the correct line on something, if I did the correct play, as well as a hand reading exercise as well. So what I do after every session is I'll actually filter through DriveHUD to take a look at all of the hands that I had during that session that went to showdown. And then from there, I tag those hands. So this way, then later on, I can go back and I can find a hand that I've already tagged that I'm going to want to do a hand review later on. So the hand I'm going to be looking at today, let me actually first get it set up here in Poker Snowy. Now the only problem is, let's see, this particular hand that I'm going to be reviewing today was from NL25, and I don't think NL25 is on Poker Snowy's list of. It isn't. So what I end up having to do is I have to end up converting the amount of money basically through big blinds, because the exact dollar amount that I played online in NL25 isn't the same. But you'll get the general idea. We're looking at line, and we're also looking at hand reading as well. So then I could just do the calculations right here through a calculator to figure out what the dollar amount from NL25 would equate to. Let's say right here, $1, $2. Um, so I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it will as the video goes on. So first, what I need to do is this is a six-handed table. Now I just need to just check to see how many people came in on the flop, so I have the right amount of players in there. Okay, so it ends up just being two. So I'm just focusing on obviously on me and my main opponent throughout the hand. So to start this, I actually had a 500 big blind stack. So I'm going to first, let me just add in, I need to add in six players because it started off as a six-person hand. I'm going to start off right here, and I was actually dealt a queen of nope, a queen of clubs actually, and a jack of clubs. And my main opponent, who is going to be right over here, and see the button was down here, so I got to make sure I recreate this correctly. And I'll focus on him. He had $36.92. So I'm just going to take that. I'm going to divide it by 25, which was 147.68 big blinds, and multiply it by 2. So 200, for the case of Poker Snowy, $295.36. And he was the big blinds right here. And me, I had exactly 100 big blinds, so for here it's be $200. Of course, like I said, the actual game played was NL25, it wasn't NL200, but just for the sake of this particular video, being able to visualize the exact hand as we go along. So anyway, let me go over to let me go over here and let me put in my hand, which was Queen of Clubs and Jack of Clubs. And next, what I want to do is I just want to open this up, and I'm just going to put, what I like to do here is I like to put what my hand was, which was Queen of Clubs and Jack of Clubs, and it was NL25, which I was playing at the time. And the date that this hand happened was on 10/17/17. So this was a little bit over a month ago, this hand. Obviously, I don't remember what happened in the hand. And I'm just going to say over here that I am in the, let's see here. So I am in the middle position with Queen of Clubs and Jack of Clubs. So what ends up happening in this particular hand is, to start off, is this guy here who is going to be the first act. He ends up having problems. Okay, hopefully we're okay. My Poker Snowy is not responding. I don't know why. Okay. Hopefully I'm not pushing the system resources too much. So this first hand here, this guy folds. And then I end up bumping this up to 3 big blinds. So I'm going to raise here to 3 big blinds, which is what I was supposed to do per Poker Snowy. And the next guy here folds. And then the next guy here folds. And the small blind folds. And this, of course, is going to be the main villain. And he calls my bet. Okay. So the main villain, the stats I have on the main villain here, who was playing in the big blind, I had at the time I had 100 and what? I think it's, I don't think it's at the time, but I think way Drive HUD works is it actually accumulates the stats, and you see the his full stats on the replayer. So I have him as a 26.2 VPIP and a 19.8 PFR. So he's a 26.2 VPIP. So let me just first put in what a 26.2 range looks like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away the ace and the king and the queen and the jacks. I'll keep tens. And I'm going to take away these premium hands here because I feel like these hands here are usually always 3-bet hands. Okay, so we'll take away these hands, and I'm going to give him this range. I'm just going to give him the other suited aces here. And I think this is pretty good. I don't think he would call. Let me just take away some of these hands here that I don't think he would call with. I don't think he would call with King 9 offsuit and Jack 9 offsuit. 10-9, small possibility, but I doubt it. All right, so I'm going to make this his calling range here. So suited aces, King Queen suited, the King 9 suited, these aces here. This is what I'm going to make his opening range. It's an 18.7% range, which I think is pretty fair in this situation. So then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy and paste this over to my PDF. Hang on. Because I want to put his range in here so I can just kind of visualize it a little bit more. And I'm going to, the percentage is 18.7%. So he has a range, an 18.7% range, and this consists of 229 combos. Okay. So this is just my starting point. This is the range I'm putting him on for calling my bet in the big blind. So now let's move forward to the next portion of the hand. So let's, oh, by the way, we can see that at this point, my hand is a slight disadvantage versus range. My hand percentage range, the equity in my hand is 48% to his 51% to his range. So, you know, obviously everything's going to change once the flop comes out. But, you know, here I was in the middle position and Queen Jack suited. I mean, I would even call this from under the gun. So of course I'm going to call from middle position as well, and then the standard three big blind raise. So next we get to see the flop, and the flop is a Jack of Diamonds, and then a Jack of Hearts, and a Two of Clubs. So obviously, this is a great flop for me. I do get three of a kind. Now, of course, he could have, he could have, of course, King Jack and Ace Jack, which beats me at this point. But so there isn't much at this point that can beat me. Obviously, I'm probably going to feel pretty good about this hand. So let me just put this over here in Poker Snow in this right here. Hang on. Jack of Hearts. I'm sorry, Jack of Diamonds. And Two of Clubs. Right? Did I get that right? Two of Clubs, yeah. Okay, so let's see what happens. So now he checks, and I'm sure Poker Snow is going to tell me to bet, obviously. And I bet 76 cents into $1.60. So let's see. So I bet half pot. I think I probably really should have bet 2/3 there, but okay, I bet half pot, which is fine. Poker Snowy here says half pot is really the sizing I should go for, but normally something like this, it's a tough spot because if I bet more, there's a good chance that he is going to fold worse hands. Where if betting this here, maybe he has Jack 10. Maybe he has another pair, for instance. It's possible as well. I'm probably going to make him fold worse hands if I bet more. So this is a good way at least to keep him in. Of course, I do open myself potentially to have him improving his hand. Hang on 1 second, video people. One second. Okay, hang on. Let me pause this. Okay, so I'm back. So obviously, being Poker Dad, there's always distractions. So anyway, all right. So here we got three of a kind. Where were we? I don't remember what I was talking about before I paused the video. Oh well, whatever. Oh yeah. So I guess here we could say that half pot is a good bet to keep him in and to keep worse hands in. Where if I were to bet 2/3 pot, he's probably going to fold if he doesn't have a jack, first of all. And I'm probably only keeping better hands in. So I can see, the half pot bet making sense. And that's what I did here. So the question then becomes, I bet to him, and so what did I bet? I bet 2/3 pot. So I bet I bet half pot. So 0.76 divided by 0.25. So it equates on this to $6.08. And he calls it. Okay, so now I need to go to this guy, Flopzilla, and figure out what is he calling my bet with. We don't have any quads here. There is a full house potential, of course, if he has pocket twos. You would think he'd probably raise the pocket twos, but of course he's going to call pocket twos as well. Three of a kind, of course, any of those jacks, like I had mentioned. And an overpair, we don't have any overpair options because we would have 3-bet all of those. Pocket pair, below top pair. With him being a 26-19, I don't see a scenario. I mean, he could. For half hop bet, he could definitely call them, but I don't think he would call the smaller ones. I think he would call like a 10-10 and then 9-9, 8-8, and maybe 7-7. I don't think he would call these other ones here. So I'm going to eliminate some of those. And middle pair would be ace two. He's definitely not calling with that. I don't think he would call with ace two. Ace high, no. No made hands, no. Open-ended straight draw, there are none. No gut shots. Overcards, ace queens, ace queen, king queen. I believe he would fold with those. And the backdoor flush draws he would fold. All right, so at this point now, this is the range that I've narrowed him down to. So it's 22.3% of this previous range. Okay, I put that there. So what I say, it was 22.3. And the number of combos is 43 combos. So I have him from 229 combos down to 43 combos. And at this point right now in the hand, I have an equity advantage, 70% to 29%. So I'm definitely in pretty good shape here, obviously, with three jacks versus this particular range. The hands that beat me at this point would be ace jack suited, king jack suited. So those hands and the 2-2. So I got to be feeling pretty good about this hand right now. So let's go on to the turn. And the turn is a 10 of diamonds. Okay. So we get a 10 of diamonds here. So what does the 10 of diamonds do here? I mean, if he has ace queen or ace king, now it gives him, a gut shot. If he has two diamonds, it gives him a flush draw. But I mean, really, it's not doing too much. Of course, he could have Jack 10, and this would give him a full house. So that's something that would be good for him. I believe I did have Jack 10. Jack 10 is in that range. So curious to see what he does here. He bets. So he actually bets into me $1.50. He bets into me $1.50 here. So $1.50 divided by 25 times 2 is 12. Okay, so he bets 12. Essentially, well, he bets $1.50, but on Poker Snowy it's going to be 12. And then I call his bet. So Poker Snowy says I should actually raise this here. So that's interesting. I guess it's saying to raise. That's interesting. See, I wouldn't even have thought to raise there. I mean, by calling, am I afraid of him having a full house? I don't know what raising would accomplish here. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure what raising would accomplish here. So anyway, I did call. But now this is interesting. So let's see, the 10 of diamonds. Let's see. This is a 10 of diamonds here. All right, so what's he betting with here? He's betting. He had Jack 2 to start with. So then the 10 comes out. Man. It almost makes you feel like he had Jack 10 to be betting that much. Jack 10, if I go back, just want to go back to the flop real quick. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right, so where are we here? 10 of diamonds. Oh yeah, I was checking to see the bet size. So he bet $1.50 into 812. So he bet half pot. It's interesting. Okay, so quads aren't a possibility. Full house. He's got a lot of ways he can get a full house here. Pair of tens. Jack 10. Get out of here. Jack 10. Wow. He's got a lot of ways to get a full house here. This is a very dangerous call for me at this point because, what else is he possibly betting with? Unless he has like ace, he could have ace 10, which I already took out of his range. Yeah, I took ace 10 out of his range. This is interesting. There are no straights. Three of a kind, of course, we still have. Over pairs, no. Flush draw. All right, so this is interesting. All right, so we narrowed him down to 53.8% of his range. But now it seems like we're in trouble here. If you take a look, the equity in a hand is 22% to 77%. All right, let's take this. Put it in here. So this is, when I say 53.8%, and 21 combos. Okay. Interesting so far. Okay. It makes me wonder if I should have folded this hand. Alright, let's see what happens here on the river. And see exactly what goes down here in his hand. Because his betting is screaming strength, obviously. So the next card we get seems like kind of a dud card. It's a 5 of clubs. I mean, it's definitely a dud card. This card does nothing probably for either one of us here. So let me go throw this here into Flopzilla, 5 of clubs. And let's see what happens now. He bets again. So I have 3 jacks. He bets again. He bets $2.75. So that is about 45% of the pot. So he's not betting strong. He's not betting strong here. Interesting. Interesting. All right, so let's see. He bets, so 2.75 divided by 0.25 times 2. So essentially $22 in the world of poker, Snowy. So what does Snowy think? Snowy thinks I should call. And let's see. I do call. Boy, I'm afraid to see his hand. I'm afraid to see what he had. But let's see. This obviously didn't change anything. I'm way behind in this hand. So what am I beating? I'm beating the Jack 9 of spades. I mean, so hopefully he has Jack 9 of spades, or he has just some other hand. And I'm going to tell you right now that he has. I will reveal it. Let's see. I called him. Wow. Well, I didn't have this in his range, but he had the King of Diamonds and the Ace of Spades. So he bet, honestly, obviously, I really, it worked out really well for me in this hand. The moves I made were correct. So Snowy agreed with my moves. In fact, Snowy thought I should have raised the turn. Now, if I would have raised the turn, he would have folded. So the raise on the turn was not was definitely the right thing. And if we go back to my original bet was 50% bet. I kept in a worse hand, Ace King. Now the fact that he decided to bet the turn and bet the river is terrible, because he had literally nothing. And this was a 26-19 player, so he's not like a terrible player. This isn't like somebody who's coming in with a terrible VPIP and PFR. So obviously, what did I learn from this situation? What I learned from this situation is sometimes I'm, I'm very quick to bet 2/3 pot, but sometimes it's okay to bet half pot and keep somebody in with a worse hand to get value on later streets. And I do know that that is something that I struggle with, that I am just worried. I got to bet now and get him to fold. I'll take what I can get now. But this is a perfect situation of I kept in a worse hand, and I mean he was betting. It was terrible by him, but you know it is what it is, and I took it down. I won the hand despite the odds, as you can see. Of course, I did take out the ace king because logically the ace king would not have stayed in this hand. But hey, look, this was a good hand. I won. I'm happy. I'm happy. I won his hand on October 17th, and I'm happy about it today on on 11/19, November 19th. Anyway, if you happen to be watching this, I appreciate it. My next video will be a gameplay video. But uh, until next time, this was a very interesting study session, to say the least. Take care. Thank you. Oh, hey, and if you want to subscribe, I'm okay with that. Thank you so much.